So hey guys, welcome to the channel CodeChef. If you want to learn competitive programming and get a good hold on DSA, this is the right platform for you. Every week there are several videos related to competitive programming and the solutions to the problems that are going on in the CodeChef contest. So if you're new to the channel, then please do subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification. Myself Chirayu, Jain, I'm a CodeChef educator. And in today's video, we are going to discuss the problem from the November lunchtime, that is minimum number of pizzas. And the problem difficulty level is cakewalk and the prerequisite of the problem is none. Okay guys, so now let us try to understand the problem statement, right? So basically chef is throwing a party to n friends. There is a pizza store nearby and he wants to buy pizza for his friends, right? Each pizza has exactly k slices. Chef friends get said if one gets more slices than other, and chef gets sad if there are some pizza slices left, right? So that's what the behavior of each and every human being, that if we don't get anything we become sad. Now focusing on the question, what's the minimum number of pizzas chef has to buy to share all the slices among his friends so that none of his friends get sad? Note that chef hates pizza and doesn't take any slices, right? So basically the problem is that there are n friends and there are k slices in each pizza, right? And we want to get the minimum number of pizzas such that each and every friends consume equal amount of slices and also there are no slices left, right? So if we take the simple inputs, right, so what will be the possible answers? Let's try to get those answers. So this 3 belongs to number of test cases and the values of n and k is mentioned to us, right? So if there are 2 friends and each pizza has 2 slices, then how much pizza should we order so that each friends get equal number of slices? Only one pizza, right? Since one pizza has 2 slices, right, and there are only 2 friends, so one friend can get 1 slice, right? So this is 1. Okay, so now if there are 2 friends and each pizza has 3 slices, then how many pizzas we need to order, right? So we need to order 2 pizzas, right, and each has 3 slices, right? So each friend can take 3 slices. Okay, now if the friends are 4 and each pizza has 2 slices, then also what we need to do? Each pizza has 2 slices and we have 4 friends, so we can give each friend one slice, and that's how we got our answers. But the point is, how do we arrive to that answer, right? So the question is, let's simplify the problem statement, right? Okay, so now let us move towards the simplification of problem statement, and if we get a simplified version of the problem statement, right, it works in many cases. And we are able to get the answer, right? So there are n friends, right, and each pizza has k slices. That's all we know, and we want to find the minimum number of pizzas, right? We want to find the minimum number of pizzas. Okay, so how we can arrive? So obviously let's say that we got the slices, overall slices which we require, the minimum number of slices we require, right? So that slices should be divisible by n. Of course, that's how we'll equally distribute to each of the friend, and also it should be divisible by k, right? It should be divisible by k also. Why? Because that will denote the number of slices in each pizza, right? If it is not divisible, then how can we form the pizzas, right? So the total number of slices in all the pizza, right, that we are selecting, that we are assuming as the minimum number of pizzas, so that should hold the property that it should be divisible by k also and it should be divisible by n also. That's how the mentality is. That's how we are arriving towards the solution. Okay, so now if this minimum number we need to find, such that that number is divisible by n also and that number is divisible by k also. So the problem statement boils down to a point that we need to find the minimum number that is divisible by n and k. This is the problem, right? So with our observations, we have arrived to a point that the simplified version of this whole problem statement is that we need to find a minimum number that is divisible by n and k. That will give us the total number of pizza slices. Total number of pizza slices that is required, right? That is required. So that's how we simplify a problem statement. So if we get this answer right, if we get this answer, then it will be very easy for us, because we get total number of pizza slices, right? And if we divide that by k, that is each pizza has these much slices, so we can get to the answer that is total number of pizzas that is required, right? That is the final answer, right? So the problem statement is this only. Now we have clarified this problem statement. Now let us see how we can get our answer with this problem statement, how we'll think that how we can get this smallest number, right? So now let's move forward with the approach. So the problem statement, we have already mentioned that the minimum number that is divisible by both n and k will result as the number of slices, and after that we'll divide that number by k to get the number of pizzas, right? Okay, so now what should be that minimum number? The minimum number that is divisible by both n and k, right? That means the smallest multiple of both n and k. What is this called? That is called LCM, lowest common multiple. Lowest common multiple, right? So if we find the LCM of n and k, that is this minimum number, right? That is this minimum number. So ultimately, now again also the problem boils down to a point in which we need to find the LCM of n comma k. This will give us the number of slices, and we'll divide that answer by k to get the number of pizzas. More precisely, the minimum number of pizzas. This is equation number 1 that we can give, right? Now how to get to this LCM, right? If we think, right, that is very easy, right? Mathematically we can compute n and k, but in order to compute it like in the way in which we can code also, right? So how to get it efficiently, right? So we know one equation, right? We know one equation, that the product of two numbers is equal to the GCD of n and k into the LCM of n and k, right? This is equation number 2. Mathematically we know this equation, right? So if we want to compute LCM, right, LCM of n comma k is equal to n into k divided by GCD of n comma k, right? And if we put this LCM value into the equation number 1, if we put this into equation 1, then what we get? We get as the answer, the total number of minimum pizza should be equal to n into k upon GCD of n comma k divided by k, which will give us n into k divided by GCD of n comma k into k. This gets cancelled, and the final solution that is left is n divided by GCD of n comma k. So if we compute this value, we get our answer, right? So this is how we make a problem that seems to be very confusing to a very simple solution, that is, we'll divide the total number of friends with the GCD of n comma k. Some of you might, who has a good experience in competitive programming, may directly get it, but for others, right, who are not able to solve or who want clarifications, right, this is the perfect thing to get to this particular formula, that we divide the number of friends with the GCD of n comma k to get the minimum number of pizzas. Okay, so now let us code this solution in C++. Okay guys, so now let us start the coding. So it is a very short code. First we'll enter all the test cases, and now for each test case what we'll do, we'll enter two values, that is n and k, right, and simply with the formula we'll output that it is n divided by GCD. There is already an inbuilt functionality of n and k, and we'll output it. Okay, so this is a code. Let's run it over the sample test cases, so we get a desired answer, that is 1, 2 and 2 for these sample inputs. Now let's submit this code on the CodeChef platform. Okay, let's submit this code, and we got AC. Okay guys, so now what can be the possible error codes in this problem? I guess that the error that one can do in this problem is not able to identify the approach of GCD, that we need to find out that GCD and then we can derive the LCM of the particular two numbers. That is one thing, and other than that the question seems to be easy. If we get striked with the approach that we need to find the lowest common multiple, and we know that the product of two numbers is equal to the LCM multiplied with the greatest common divisor, right? So now then we can achieve this very easily, right? Okay guys, so now let us understand the same logic in Python as well. So it is a very small code. We'll import math for GCD inbuilt functionality, and first of all we'll enter the same test cases. For each test case we'll have two values, right, that is n and k, and at last we'll print the n divided by the GCD of n and k, right? Since it will be a decimal value, so we'll typecast it to integer, right? So that's what the code is in Python, right? Simply we'll run this code and let's see what the output is. So for these test cases, that is a sample test case, we have the output that is 1, 2 and 2. Yeah, so this is the Python implementation. So thank you for watching the video. If you like the content, then please do hit the like button. You can also know the updates about the videos coming on the channel by joining a Telegram group. The link to the Telegram group is in the description. I'll see you in the next video.